Welcome to EWTN News In Depth. I'm Catherine Hadro. Ukraine's surprise cross-border attack into Russia was a plan steeped in secrecy, unknown to its allies and analysts, hidden even from the Ukrainian soldiers who were about to carry it out. And in a stunning turn of events, this unexpected move has put Russia on the defense.
There is no light, no connection, no water. There is nothing. It's as if everyone has flown to another planet and you are left alone.
More than 100,000 Russians fled their homes this week as Ukraine's military operation in Russia presses on. Now in the incursion's second week, Ukraine continues to gain ground in enemy territory, claiming it has captured hundreds of square miles, dozens of towns, and more than 100 Russian soldiers. Russia is struggling to gain its footing to fight back and reclaim its territory.
So this is really big because nobody has invaded Russian space, Russian territory since the Second World War.
Reports of Ukrainian soldiers on Russian territory began appearing on Tuesday, August 6th. But Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky did not acknowledge the attack until days later.
Ukraine is proving that it really knows how to restore justice and guarantees exactly the kind of pressure that is needed. Pressure on the aggressor.
The incursion comes after Ukraine spent months on the defensive, and its previous counteroffensive last year ended in failure. It's the first time Ukrainian forces have pushed into Russian territory in the 2.5-year conflict, a shift from its former strategy of targeting Russia with drones and missiles. Kyiv says it launched the attack to better protect its eastern land from Russian strikes. But its other goals for the operation remain unclear.
There are theories they want to grab some land so that if there's a peace agreement that eventually they can trade. They're obviously taking prisoners of war and they can trade those. There's also the idea that they want to embarrass Putin. And I think that could be part of it, changing the narrative with this really outrageous military step by Ukraine.
Since August 6th, Ukraine has hit key command infrastructure in the Kursk region. The attack seemed to catch the Kremlin by surprise.
The fact that they were able to just kind of walk over the border. Russian intelligence didn't appear to be working on this, or if they picked anything up, they seem to have ignored it.
President Putin called it a large-scale provocation.
It appears that the enemy is aiming to improve its negotiating positions in the future. Well, what kind of negotiations can we even talk about with people who launch indiscriminate strikes on civilian infrastructure, and try to create threats to nuclear energy facilities? What can you talk to them about?
According to Kyiv, Russia has started pooling reserves from Ukraine's battleground regions to cover the incursion. While it's unclear how this offensive could impact the broader war, it highlights a shift in morale on both sides.
They've been able to give a tremendous morale boost to the Ukrainians who have been now fighting for 2.5 years, and they've caused a major embarrassment to Vladimir Putin back at home. And now the Russian people are saying, "Hey, Vladimir, look what you've gotten us into now." I mean, now they're attacking us on our home field. This is a tremendous development, and so I applaud the Ukrainians for being able to pull this off.
To help us understand the significance of Ukraine's bold counteroffensive and to provide an update on how Ukrainians are faring more than 2 years into the war, we go to Ukraine. Archbishop Borys Gudziak is the head of the Ukrainian Catholic Church in the United States and president of the board of Ukrainian Catholic University. He is currently visiting the university ahead of the academic year. And Dr. Yuriy Pidlisnyy, he is the chair of the political science department at the Ukrainian Catholic University and former deputy governor of the Lyiv region. Thank you both for being here. Your Excellency, I want to go to you first. According to Vatican News, the Vatican Secretary of State, Cardinal Pietro Parolin, expressed concerns about Ukraine's recent military advances, warning it could further escalate the war and open new fronts. Do you share those concerns?
Well, I'm not a military strategist, and I don't know if, we clergy are expected to comment on military strategy. What I would say is that Ukraine is in a very clear position. It's really black and white. Over the last 300 years, every time there's been a Russian occupation of any Ukrainian territory, the Ukrainian Catholic Church has been wiped out. We've suffered genocide at the hands of Russians historically. I think all our viewers and listeners remember that what happened in Bucha, Irpin, Borodyanka, Izium, where the mass graves were found. 20,000 children were abducted out of occupied territory. Women are raped. Young men are conscripted into the Russian army to kill their own brothers and sisters. Ukrainians have no choice but to defend themselves. And they're very grateful to Americans and Catholics who stand with them, who pray, who inform, as you're doing right now. Many journalists have given their lives for the truth coming out of Ukraine. And of course, there needs to be defensive help.
Yuriy, can you explain the weight of Ukraine's recent military advances? Many are saying this incursion could change the trajectory of the war. What's your take on that?
Actually, it is changing the trajectory of the war. Actually, to react to your question concerning the position of Pietro Parolin, the State Secretary of Vatican, we were taught all along the wars that if the Western countries will supply Ukraine with some weaponry, there will be escalation of the conflict. If, for example, Ukraine will get American HIMARS or F-16, there will be escalation. But you see no escalation until this time. And I'd like to tell you more. What does it mean to escalate the war? Russians came and are killing and murdering Ukrainians, and we have no choice but to fight to survive. And our incursion, for example, into neighboring regions of Russia, but in fact, they are populated always by Ukrainian-speaking population, it is our unique chance maybe to redirect the line of front toward northeast, toward Moscow.
And Yuriy, just a follow-up to that, Zelensky said that Ukraine has taken full control of Sudzha, the largest Russian town to fall to Ukraine's forces since this incursion. Can you put that into perspective for us?
Well, you see that this gas controlling station is still functioning, and it will function. Ukrainians, even conducting the war, are civilized. We keep the need of our European partners in attention, and we will never destroy this gas station. And probably Russians will do that. I don't know. But we have no intention to damage our European partners. European Union countries still have some contracts with Russia, and Russia is supplying gas via Ukrainian pipelines, and we will never damage European Union partners. That's for sure. And you see, we control this territory for several days, and it is functioning as it functioned before.
Your Excellency, earlier this week, the Ukrainian Greek Catholic Church reported that Russian forces destroyed the Church of the Holy Martyr Cyprian in Ukraine. Are you anticipating more Russian attacks on Ukrainian Greek Catholic churches? And how are the faithful faring in the wake of that attack?
Well, it's not only the Church of St. Cyprian. Over 600 churches have been damaged or destroyed in Ukraine of different confessions. The Russian missiles have been indiscriminate, hitting apartment buildings, shopping centers, train stations, and schools, hospitals, churches. Yes, Putin has spoken about the fact that Ukraine needs to be subdued and subsumed back into a greater Russian empire. And he is showing ruthlessness, utter brutality. His soldiers commit war crimes. There are crimes against humanity, and there is no reluctance. Unfortunately, the Russian Orthodox Church and Patriarch Kirill have deemed this a holy war. They use jihadist language about martyrs. Your sins will be forgiven if you die going into Ukraine to basically kill people. So there should be absolutely no question about Putin's intentions and his methods.
Just to follow up on that, Your Excellency, there you are on the ground in Ukraine. You've visited many times. How are the Ukrainian people, and specifically our brother and sister Catholic Ukrainians, doing 2.5 years into the war? And what are you hearing from the faithful? And is there a boost in morale since this latest incursion?
Ukrainians are wounded but not broken. They're very tired, but you know, when the question is death or life, you continue living on the adrenaline to survive. This has been a boost in morale. It brings to the fore again that Putin is not all powerful. And it seems that the Ukrainians are the only ones who don't fear Putin. Everybody else worries about what he will do. Well, he's already doing it, and Ukrainians are responding, and they will continue to respond.
Yuriy, do you think Ukraine's seizure of more than 100 Russian POWs could be used to get Ukrainian POWs back home?
Well, the number of POW is increasing. Actually, we have more than 2,000 already, and we hope that the exchange of POW can be done, but unfortunately, there is specific way of thinking of Putin's military. They do not accept the idea we offered once some time ago to exchange all for all. But I hope we will get some good news in a few days.
We pray so as well. Your Excellency, do you believe if Pope Francis were to visit Ukraine, it would help to bring about peace and help to bring an end to this war?
Well, I think Pope Francis has gone to places where there's pain, where there's marginalization, where there's suffering. You know, in a country where 13 million people have been forced from their homes, 8 of them outside of the country originally. Now there's 6 million outside of the country and 2 have come back. I don't know where there is more suffering. Nobody has a monopoly on suffering or virtue or vice, but I think it would be a real sign of the Bishop of Rome coming to the place where there's great human pain and where Catholics are under great danger.
Yuriy, we have less than a minute left, so quickly, for those of us outside of Ukraine, the reality of the ongoing war can feel distant and removed from our everyday. What do you want our viewers to know about the present moment in Ukraine right now?
Well, outsiders of Ukraine, those our partners and non-partners, should understand the nature of this war. Russia wants to become great again. They want to become one day an opposite pole in the geopolitics they used to be during the Cold War, and they lost their status and they want the revanche. And to become Russia great empire again, that means they have to destroy Ukraine, not to occupy Ukrainian territory, but to destroy Ukrainian nation. And they told this openly. Even Patriarch Kirill told that there is no such Ukrainian nation. There is part of Russian nation, which is a historical fake.
Well, gentlemen, we thank you both for your time and for the insight you brought us today. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.